Air me now. Welcome back to the True Blue Podcast. I am your host, Zach Succardi. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Podcast True Blue. It is Tuesday, August 4th. I'm recording this in the evening. I'm really happy to be here doing another episode. Just want to shout out all of my good homies and anyone who has reached out to me here recently about my podcast and about what I'm doing over here at the True Blue Podcast. And it just really means a lot. And it's really cool to get any kind of feedback, good or bad. It just really means a lot. So shout out to all my friends and anyone who has reached out to me. Really does, really means a lot. Really, it's cool. So since we last spoke, let's see here. Talked to my mom. Talked to some friends on the phone. I want to highlight how important it is to hear someone's voice. You're listening to me now. You're hearing my voice. And it's just, you can't replace it. And it's real important to connect with folks like that. So I would encourage you to pick up the phone and call someone. It doesn't have to be a forever conversation. You don't have to be on there, for a certain amount of time. But just to hear someone's voice and to say hi, it really does go a long way. And I love talking to my mom. She's real cool, real open. We get into all kinds of conversations about what's going on in our lives, our family, stuff from the past. We do talk a lot about like our heritage and stuff, and finding out about old family members, and like my mom will tell me stories about growing up, and I'll get like right on to Google Maps and look up these places, and it's really cool. It's just such a cool thing, and I'm super blessed, super grateful that I can call my mom and we can have these conversations. I really am. I think it's very important. It's very, very important to me, and it's really cool to hear about someone's life, And it's just something I just wanted to share with everyone, that call someone. It doesn't have to be your mom. It could be anybody, friend, family member, because to hear someone's voice is so important. So it's been like storming here each night, rain and thunder, lightning, and they call it monsoon season here in New Mexico, and it's been great. I absolutely love it. I mean, for one, never rains here, so when it does rain here, it's welcomed, which is sort of a foreign concept to me coming from New Jersey, where it always motherfucking rains, and it can be overcast for weeks, and it's just such a different climate and environment. But when it happens here, it's refreshing and almost nostalgic for me, because it makes me think of New Jersey a little bit. And I love it. It's so nice. And I don't know if you guys can relate, but just being inside when there's a storm, like I feel like I race right to all those things, the dim lighting, I play certain music, you know what I mean? There's something like about it. It kind of creates a certain mood that is kind of rare here in the Southwest. So something that, I really love. And for those who are in the Southwest, I think you know what I'm talking about. To the contrary, on the East Coast, I think there's some like hurricanes and shit and tornadoes or whatever the fuck. I think they're hurricanes or tropical storms or whatever the fuck that they call it. I mean, I lived in Jersey and we didn't have anything too crazy because, we weren't by the water, or in North Jersey, I should say, where I lived in North Jersey, East Coast. But it still got crazy and we lost power, like trees were coming down and shit. So it was definitely kind of wild. And, I have to say, some pretty breathtaking skies out here after all this. Because what's cool is, so it'll like storm for a while, but then it always kind of clears up. And sometimes it coincides with the sunset. And you just get so many amazing like blends of colors. So many layers of those like clouds in the sky, and it's so beautiful. It's like, I hate to say it, like it is breathtaking. I know that sounds kind of cheesy. And if you watch Seinfeld, there's a hilarious episode where Elaine goes to this like beach house and there's this really attractive doctor, and he's there as well. And there's some baby there, like the couple that owns the house has a baby, and the baby happens to be ugly as fuck, and everyone thinks that the baby's ugly. So this good-looking doctor is saying how Elaine is she's breathtaking, and she's so good-looking. And then when he sees the baby, he calls the baby breathtaking. And Elaine's like, how the fuck can that ugly baby be breathtaking? And so, and you can call me. So yeah, it's just sort of hilarious, and shout out to my sister, because anytime like any of our friends or family members have had kids, we always joke about, oh, is that baby breathtaking? It's fucking really funny. But the skies out here, they really are breathtaking, especially after the storms. So hey, I'm slowly anticipating the NFL season. One thing about me, I don't know if I've shared too much, but if you know me, you know it to be true. I'm really into football, the NFL, and fantasy football. So that the season is sort of approaching here in August, as the training camps get underway. I'm anticipating it, but I'm especially cautious because, with my expectations, I'm sort of being, excuse me. I'm limiting my expectations because there's so many unknowns, like so many. But it'll be cool. Fantasy football will definitely be different. The idea of that is like you have certain players, and then, you have them on your fantasy squad. And if these guys get COVID or whatever, it just adds another element. To the game. And, it's just sort of kind of crazy. I'm looking forward to it, but again, I'm being very cautious and as things unfold. But it'll be cool. It'll be nice to see NFL. It'll be, kind of a normal-ish thing. I haven't really been watching any other sports. I saw maybe just some highlights and shit. And that's cool. It's good that sports are happening despite there not being anyone there. That's cool. So sometimes I'll have this weird thought of like sort of boring, mundane superhero powers. And sometimes I'll think of some really stupid ones that'll just come to my head. So over time in this podcast, I'll probably share some. So the two kind of boring superpowers I was thinking of here, it'd be kind of crazy if you had a superpower where you could cut lines wherever you go, like no matter. Which could be a really cool superpower, especially if you're shopping or if you're vacationing somewhere where lots of people are. You could cut those lines and shit. Like if you're going to an amusement park and shit, you can cut the line, go all the way up front. It's pretty dope. So maybe this one isn't as whack as I originally thought, but it's not as cool as some of the obvious ones. But yeah, cutting lines. I used to go to shows with my homie Heath. Shout out to my friend Heath. And we used to always like cut the line because he didn't want to wait, and he always like tried to get us on the list and tried to get us in, and he usually was quite successful. But it was always sort of funny. We'd always cut all these people. And then the second one of my boring superhero powers is being able to guess someone's age with 100% accuracy. Kind of whack, but like just one of those things that just came to my head. Really stupid. And it just comes to me. I'm in the shower. I'm coming home from the gym. I'm just waking up, or I'm going to sleep. But yeah, I'll revisit this because to me it's sort of funny. And if you can think of any, then holla at your boy on Twitter and Instagram at Podcast True Blue. Kind of a stupid thing, but if you think about some boring ass superhero powers, it could be kind of fun. So hey, the self-care this week, I'm really excited about this one. This one is a great tip, and we can all benefit from it. So it's called Softball in a Sock, and it's just that. You go buy yourself a softball. Go to Walmart and spend whatever, $5-6, buy a softball, whatever the fuck they cost. And then get yourself like a pair, like a sock that's stray or just a long old sock. You put the softball in there, and what you can do is it's really good if you're trying to massage your back, or honestly anywhere. It could be even on your legs and shit. You could sit on it. But putting it in the sock allows you to like pin it against the wall. So if you have any knots in your back, which I know a lot of us do, especially if you work a job where you sit, Sitting for such long periods of time definitely isn't good for your back. Or, if your posture isn't really the best and you're leaning over, this is a great tip in just as far as getting some relief. It's really good because the sock holds it in place, so you can wing that shit, on your back. And then, not wing it. That's maybe not the right term. I just imagine myself kind of flipping it over on my back. But you just pin it against your back, and then you just like roll either against the wall or like against, your closet door or whatever. And it feels so good because you're getting right into those spots that you wouldn't otherwise be able to. It's kind of like an acute foam roller because it's just the size of a softball, and you're able to get into those certain areas. And I'm excited about this one because, God, I honestly use this almost every day. And as I'm recording this, I'm sitting down. My posture is just okay. And I can feel the muscles in my back going, oh, what the fuck, just kind of tightening up. And I can't wait to finish this podcast so I can go use this softball in a sock. Don't get a tennis ball. There's too much give in that shit. I mean, maybe for like a couple things, you can get one. But for sure, buy a softball so that way you know that it's nice and meaty, nice and concrete. And this is a real good one. It's just like an acute foam roller. So I'm really excited about that. All right, so on to the poetry. Let's do some poetry. So I decided to read from this collection of poems. It's called Jazz Poems, just like the music jazz. And this is a series. It's like what do they call this? The Everyman's Library Pocket Poet series. I remember this being kind of big in like early 2000s. I don't know if they're still out. They probably are, but they have all kinds of themes from different types of poetry, from different poets, and they're all like these little like smaller pocket poetry books. So I picked this one up when I went to Seattle back in like 2007. I got it at a place called the Elliott Bay Book Company. Shout out to them if they still exist. And it's cool. It's a bunch of poems about jazz or, mentioning or all themed around jazz, which I love. I love jazz, and to know that, there's a whole collection of poetry, I was very excited to acquire this. So I figured I'd read a couple of poems from this. All right, let's go find the first one here. All right, so this one is called We Real Cool. We real cool, we left school, we lurk late, we strike straight, we sing sin, we thin gin, we jazz June, we die soon. It's by Gwendolyn Brooks. Pretty dope. We real cool. I like that. We left school, we lurk late, we strike straight, we sing sin, we thin gin, we jazz June, we die soon. We lurk late. I've always lurked late. Since I was a kid, I remember going to the diner late as fuck. Just to chill. Just, eat a pizza burger and chill. But yeah. We sing sin. We jazz June. We die soon. Really cool one. I dug the flow of it and just the whole rhyme, the whole scheme there. So again, that was by Gwendolyn Brooks. It was called We Real Cool. Alright, let's see this next one here. This one is called Touching the Past. Uptown New Orleans, 1940. And here was a man of the right color, old enough to have been there, who may be heard, so I inquired, from the old man doing his yard work. Ever hear Buddy Bowden play? Ah, me, he said, stopping his work. Yes, but you mean King Bowden. That's what we used to call him. He leaned on his rake a while, resting. Used to play the Algiers. Played so loud we could hear him clear across the river. He seemed listening. King Bowden now. There was a man could play. We stood there, thinking about it, smiling. That's pretty awesome. Let me read that last part. He seemed listening. King Bowden now. There was a man could play. We stood there, thinking about it, smiling. That's really cool. I like how this guy was raking, and then he just was able to recount King Bowden. I thought that was Really cool. He leaned on his rake a while, resting. It's cool. You can imagine someone just like reminiscing in that posture. That one again was called "Touching the Past" by Robert Sargent. Sargent, yeah, that's cool. Robert Sargent. All right, let's see here. Next one. Okay, so this one is called Billy Strahan. Pardon me. It's called Billy Strayhorn Writes Lush Life. Empty ice cream carton in a kitchen garbage can. Up all night with your mother. He beat her again. Up all night eating ice cream. You made your mother laugh. Life is lonely. Duke's hands on your shoulders. You play it again. Cancer eats moth holes through you and you and you. Life is lonely. Speeding upstate in the back seat of the Taconic. Cocktail in one hand, book in another as autumn leaves blur by. This life, New York, piano, love, then lonely. This life, love. That was by that was by Elizabeth Alexander. That was called Billy Strayhorn Writes Lush Life. Some great parts in that. I like this last part. Speeding upstate in the back seat on the Taconic. Cocktail in one hand, book in another as autumn leaves blur by. Excuse me. This life, New York, piano, love, then lonely. This life, love. It's like all these things coming and going. You know, but I like how it ends on this life, love. That is so right on. All right, so I just have 3 more. Again, thanks for rolling with your boy here in the True Blue podcast. We're keeping it true blue. All right, so this poem is called Rubin, Rubin. I reach from pain to music great enough to bring me back. Swollen head, madness, love fruit, a pickle of hate, so sour my mouth twicked up and would not sing. There's nothing in the beat to hold it in, melody and turn human skin. A brown berry gone, to rot just 2 days on the branch. We've lost the sun, the music, jazz, comes in. That one was by Michael S. Harper. It's called Rubin, Rubin. It's cool. He starts off, I reach from pain. I reach from pain to music great enough to bring me back. And then I kind of like how he kind of ends it. He says, we've lost the sun, the music, jazz comes in. He reaches from pain. So it sounds like something, he lost his son and he's going to music to ease his pain. The music, jazz comes in. I reach from pain. Some really, really cool shit here. I dig it because he's connecting with jazz music. He's connecting with music. And it's just really cool. Just in this poem, how he's saying how he is going through all these feelings. So sour on my mouth twicked. That my mouth twicked up and would not sing. There's nothing in beat to hold it in. Melody in turn, human skin. A brown berry gone. To rot just 2 days on the branch. Sounds kind of depressing. We've lost the sun. The music, jazz comes in. But again, ends with something very positive. Really, really cool. Again, that's Rubin, Rubin by Michael S. Harper. All right, so just 2 more here. 239, sweet. So this one is called Canary, and check it out. It's for Michael S. Harper. Some of these poems, they have like dedication, and it's for the person I just read a poem from, so it's pretty cool. The neat little connection I didn't realize. All right, so this one is called Canary. Billie Holiday's burned voice had as many shadows as lights, a mournful candelabra against the sleek piano, the gardenia her signature under that ruined face. Now you're cooking, drummer to bass, magic spoon, magic needle. Take all day if you have to with your mirror and your bracelet of song. Fact is, the invention of women under siege has been to sharpen love in the service of myth. If you can't be free, be a mystery. Some great lines here, some crazy words. Billie Holiday's burned voice had as many shadows as lights. A mournful candelabra against the sleek piano, the gardenia her signature under that ruined face. That's cool. Fact is, the invention of women under siege has been to sharpen love in the service of myth. If you can't be free, be a mystery. That's good shit. I dig that. I dig that. If you can't be free, be a mystery. Keep those motherfuckers thinking. Keep them on their toes. The unknown is very powerful. If you can't be free, be a mystery. Some good shit. And right. Looks like I have one more. It's kind of a long one. All right, here goes. This one's called The Journey. Miles was waiting on the dock, his trumpet in a paper bag. Lady was cold. Wind lashed the gardenias. I stole her hair. I stole for her hair. Let me read that part again. Lady was cold. Wind lashed the gardenias. I stole for her hair. We were shabby, the three of us. No one was coming, so I started to row. It was hard going, stagnant, meandering. The city moaned and smoldered. Tin cans on the banks like shackles, to be discovered in the open. But Miles took out his horn and played. Lady sang, a slow traditional blues. The current caught us, horn, voice, oar stroking water. I don't know how long we floated, our craft so full of music, the night so full of stars. When I awoke, we were entering an ocean, sun low on water, warm as a throat, gold as a trumpet. We wept, then soared in a spiritual. Never have I been so happy. That was by Lawson Fuso Anada. It's fucking awesome. The current caught us, horn, voice, oar, stroking water. I don't know how long we floated. Our craft so full of music, the night so full of stars. When I awoke, we were entering an ocean. That's dope. I like that. Sun low on water, warm as a throat, gold as a trumpet. We wept, then soared in a spiritual. Never have I been so happy. It's pretty awesome. Then soared in a spiritual. That's some deep ass shit. That's next level like connection stuff. I love that. Never have I been so happy. That was called The Journey. Again, these are jazz poems. A really, really cool collection. And I really dug it. Really, really cool. So happy to share it with everybody. All right, so on to the True Blue playlist. You think, okay, so we have jazz poems, so I'm going to have a song. I'm going to have a jazz song. I'm not. I'm not. I will on another episode for sure. After reading all these poems, I'm excited to talk about jazz, share some jazz music. So that'll be in one of our upcoming episodes for sure. This week, I decided to share a gospel soul song. The song is called Can You Lose by Following God. It's by a band called The Whole Truth. And it's like on a single, so it's the B-side on a single for a song called God is Going to Raise a Nation. So this song, I found it on a playlist. It was a gospel soul playlist on Spotify. And there's a couple really, really good songs on there. And when this came up, I mean, it's such a beautiful soul song. It kind of reminds me of this Smith song, I Don't Owe You Anything, as far as like how the guitar works. Kind of very like consistent, almost like, and I'm not really good with the verbiage with like guitar speak, but like the strumming of it or whatever, it is very subtle but very consistent, kind of like that Smith song, I Don't Owe You Anything, which is on the first album. So this song, Can You Lose by Following God, which is a great title. The vocals kind of, the way that they come in are around like a minute and 3 seconds, where the title of the song is actually sung, and he goes, can you lose? He's like, can you lose by following God? And now I can't sing, but the way he used his voice and just said it like that, can you lose by following God? It was just so beautiful, just the way the melody went, and it was really kind of almost quiet. He didn't like scream it, and the way the song just progresses, it flowed so well. He sings the title of the song, Can You Lose by Following God, maybe 2 or 3 times throughout the song, and it's like the best. It's the best. And you can hear such love and such passion in this man's voice. I mean, honestly, like it's so like I'm so attracted to that. I'm so into passion and love. I mean, it's just one of those qualities that I'm so enamored by, especially on a topic like God. I mean, it's perfect. But just overall, love and passion, you can hear it in this man's voice. It's like, whether you are a believer or, you're not into the gospel part, you just hear the soul of this man's voice, and just how passionate he is about God. It's inspiring. I hope that, we're all passionate about something, like that in our lives, be it God or anything else. That's honestly one of the things that draws me to this to this song, and a lot of the gospel soul genre is just the passion. My God, you just hear it, and it's so inspiring. It touches me right, like right there. It's really just, I'm so happy to be sharing it. And just such a great song. I mean, geez. To me, this is kind of like one of those songs that, maybe it's me, but whether you believe in God or not, it's such a great song. It's so beautiful, like the way it unfolds. And actually, this song, this song is sampled in a Kanye West song that he had on his recent album. The song is called "Follow God." And it's great. It's a great Kanye song. It's probably the best on that album, or my favorite. And that's a really good album. So it's really cool to kind of hear that as well. That, oh shit, this is sampled in a Kanye song. But man, this original version is just so good. And I was thinking, I should do a jazz song. And I thought, nah, this one is totally this is the song that I want to share. This is the one that is speaking to me. So really excited about sharing this song. And this song will be included on the True Blue playlist, which you can find on my Instagram and on my Twitter under the profile. There's a link right there. You can click right on it, and it'll take you to my link tree, and it's the first link on there, True Blue playlist. And I will be sure to share this song through my Instagram. Again, the song is called "Can You Lose by Following God." It's by a group called The Whole Truth, and I strongly suggest listening to this song. So that is it. That is session 18 for the True Blue podcast. Excuse me. I am your host, Zach Succardi. You guys have a great week. Hope you're staying cool, and I'll be seeing you soon. Peace.